There is a lot happening in the real estate industry right now. We're going to talk about two things in particular: the significant drop in mortgage rates and the quick demise of the cooperating compensation that's currently available to real estate agents. Brian here, your Boston real estate guru, and I am out here in Natick, Framingham, somewhere around there at the Cochituate Rail Trail, and it's really a nice day. We had a bunch of rain yesterday, a bunch of down trees and all kinds of crazy stuff, but today is much, much nicer. All right, let's talk about interest rates. They have dropped dramatically, and on the surface that sounds like a good thing, but ultimately I think it's going to pose a real problem for buyers in particular come the spring market, because they are going to be facing a lot of competition out there. As interest rates drop, a lot more qualified buyers come into the marketplace, and as a result you get multiple offers, you get bidding wars, you get the gist. Now, the plus side of that is, with the lower interest rates, you do have more people listing their homes, because now they're no longer, it's more attractive than 8% rates at 6.5% rates. So you're going to see quite a few more homes coming on the market, hopefully this spring. Okay, the other thing that we need to talk about is cooperating compensation. For those of you that are not aware, the way it works and has worked for the past 30 years or so is that when a listing agent is creating that listing in MLS, they are putting in a certain percentage, typically, of their commission that they're going to share with a buyer's agent. If a buyer's agent brings a ready, willing, and able buyer to the property, they end up purchasing that property. So the jury was crystal clear, as was the judge. The sellers in that Sitzer Burnett case were basically saying, like, yeah, we don't want to pay that anymore. We're not going to pay the buyer's agent. Instead, that's going to be negotiated and become part of the deal, no differently than anything else. So this is a huge, huge change. I cannot understate how huge a change this is in the way in which real estate agents are compensated on the buy side, not on the listing side. So what will happen is, I think initially, the judge is going to put an injunction on this, and he's going to say, like, absolutely, we got to get rid of this. We got to scrap it. So there's going to be no longer a cooperative compensation. The immediate effect of that is going to be a pandemonium for sellers in particular, because then all of a sudden they're going to have a bunch of offers coming in with different amounts. They're going to try and parse everything. It's going to look very different than the way that it currently looks, which is clean, standardized, if you will, in terms of the structure of the deal. But there's going to be all kinds of shenanigans going on once that comes to fruition. So once you get rid of this cooperating compensation, the residential market is going to have the feel very similar to what the commercial real estate looks like. So everything is negotiable in commercial real estate, and there's very few buyer brokers in commercial real estate, simply because there are no guarantees necessarily, and you just don't know. Everything is negotiable. So they always try and oftentimes just cut out that middleman, so to speak. And that is, I think, what the intent of this is, which is a shame, because commercial real estate is very different than residential. Commercial, these people do this for a living. Residential, you just need a place to live, right? So you don't do it very often. You might do it 3-4 times over the course of your life, and you need representation. And unfortunately, because of this, getting rid of that cooperating compensation, you are no longer going to have, there's going to be a lot of people who can't afford to have that representation. Now, the other thing that's going to happen here, and I can't believe more people are not talking about this, is that if you get rid of that cooperating compensation in MLS, what is the point of having an MLS? Because now, especially these brokerages that are distancing themselves from NAR, and they no longer have to follow the guidelines and the rules and the code of ethics from NAR, National Association of Realtors, what is to prevent them from keeping all those listings to themselves and maximizing their income at the expense of their client? But of course, their client isn't necessarily going to know, because, again, the rules have changed. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. I think third-party sites like Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, HomePads, like all these third-party sites are going to make a boatload of money, because now, as agents, we'll have the ability to promote these listings at the top of the search results. Right now, we can't, because of our code of ethics. And
moving forward, we're just not going to have those restrictions. So it's going to look very, very different. The marketplace is going to look very, very different a year from now as it does right now in terms of advertising anyways. Oh, and home prices are definitely going to go up, by the way, because as interest rates come down, it's going to put, you can see it with the mortgage applications. There's tons of people getting qualified for mortgages. And as a result, you're going to see a bunch of qualified buyers in the marketplace come this spring. So let me know down in the comments below whether you see these things coming, whether I'm maybe overreacting a little bit, maybe not, I don't know. But I think it's going to be a very, very busy spring. If you have a home to sell, it would be a good time to do it this spring because there's going to be a lot of qualified buyers out there, especially with the interest rates coming down. And in terms of cooperating compensation, I don't think that change is going to happen for another 6 months or so. But when it does happen, it's going to be very swift, and it's going to have a lasting impact on the industry as a whole. Those are my thoughts. Again, let me know down in the comments below, and we will catch you in the next one.